Alrighty, here's a short, I don't know if you'd call it a tutorial, but opinion piece, op-ed if you will, on bench setup. A lot of you guys use the benches that have a cutout here. That's, in my experience, called a watchmaker's bench, whereas this with a straight wall in the front is called a jeweler's bench, and it has, you know, a slot like this for the bench pin. That slot is for an armrest. If you're setting, it's really handy. It's right in the right spot to prop up your elbow. The point I want to make today, though, is about this rack here. Now, you can have this rack on one side. You can have it on both sides. Whatever. That doesn't matter that much. The point is a lot of people use like a chunk of coat hanger wire for this rack, and it hangs, and all your pliers, because of gravity, go to the center, and it's hard. And if you have the kind of pliers that have these little spring tabs inside, they hook on that wire, and it's really a lot of work to disentangle the tool you need before you can use it. So here's the thing that I want to point out is this is just brass, or I've seen copper, nickel, whatever you have laying around, but it's bar stock. It's I'm gonna say probably around 18 gauge and roughly 1 inch wide, and you bend nice corners in the end, and you screw it down, drill a hole and screw it down at both ends. And it's important that it not be under your bench pin, where, you know, it's going to impede on, you know, using your saw. And the other thing that's important is that a lot of these benches, they push in so far that there's a little bit of an overhang, and you don't want your pliers to be at that height that they just, like, every time you go to grab your pliers, they snag there. So you want to build this a little bit low, and as you can see, this is as low as it can get on the front of my bench. You don't want it to be higher than that, because your pliers are a lot of different sizes too. Look, these hang down, these stick up, so you want to get it down there. And if they hang down there, it doesn't matter, they're not in your way. And while we're at it, I will also point out that this bench pan has a similar, although in this case it is pretty much a piece of coat hanger wire, but it's appropriately bent and shaped. And this is where I hold things like my little bench shovels to keep them out of the way, and this Sucrets container that I use for all my setting burrs. So that's there, and it's handy, and it's not taking up a lot of space in my pan. So here's the basic setup. But the thing is, with this being 1 inch wide, as I said, those spring-loaded guys aren't going to snag every time. And when you're looking at something, they're not going to be down in the bottom of this hole, all tangled together. You can slide them back and forth, you know, and you find what you need. Slide, 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 slide. Tweezers also will hang quite nice when you're soldering and when you're doing something. You know, you can slam that back there and get a really nice and very satisfying, you know, effect. So this is the thing. This is your setup. 1 inch wide. I'm going to say at least 18 gauge, if not heavier. Doesn't matter what the metal is. Don't block your bench pin. Set it up low. And it also works as a really handy drawer pull. So there's that. Okay?